Hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk about iOS 17.4 and how this update has confused iPhone users in general. With this software update, I've gotten the most questions and it seems like everyone is confused because with this update, Apple has provided users with features and options only available for certain regions or certain devices. And I feel like iOS at this point is sort of fragmented, right? So users are confused on what features are available based on region or device. I wanted to clarify everything and I wanted to talk about a few things Apple just needs to stop doing in order to provide iPhone users with a better and unified user experience. So let's go ahead and dive right into this one. So let me start with a simple, perfect example about your default browser. This is a new feature in iOS 17.4, only available for the EU. Now, the ability to choose a default browser of your choice is only available for that region. So basically, if you click on a link on an email address or a text message with a link, typically it opens within Safari on your iPhone. So when you select a default browser of your choice, you can choose any browser, and when you click on those external links, it won't open in Safari, it will open on the actual browser that you choose. But this is a perfect example on how iOS has become fragmented based on where you live, and a lot of iPhone users seem to be confused about default browser. This is a feature that's only available for the EU, and I think Apple should definitely make this available and this an option for users across the world, the ability to choose any browser of your choice as well as any additional applications as the default other than Apple apps. And this is something that eventually will happen, but I think Apple just continues to push back and just confusing a lot of users as the new iOS 17.4 was released. There's a lot of confusion in regards to when can you choose a default browser and where this feature is available. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is also side loading. Now, for those of you that may not know what side loading is, side loading allows you to install apps from third-party app stores, but this feature is also only available for the EU. So if you have an app that you want to download from a developer website, you can do that directly, but you have to live in the EU. Or if you want to download a third-party marketplace or app store to install apps so that you don't have to use the app store, that's also available only for the EU. And I know a lot of users would want the ability to install apps from third-party applications or directly from developers' website. And this feature, unfortunately, is only available for iOS 17.4 in the EU. And this is, again, another perfect example on how things have become very fragmented in iOS and confusing as well. So next I want to shift my attention over to features only available depending if you have the iPhone 15 or not. So depending on which iPhone you have, certain features apply. So for example, I know a lot of users really want this. So if we go into battery health, we have charging optimization options right here. So this is only available for the iPhone 15 lineup, 15 Pro. So we have the ability to choose none, 80% limit, or optimized battery charging. These three options are only available if you own the latest iPhones. And I'm sure this can also be added to older iPhones without Apple having to really change much within the operating system and just add these features that just seem like logical, right? It doesn't look like Apple really needs to change much to add this to older devices. It will help the user, it would help with battery, and the users will have more options. I think Apple's just using this as an excuse to make users upgrade to the latest iPhones, to be honest, because it doesn't require much to add this to older iPhones as well. Next, I want to talk about battery health. Now, battery health, here's another feature that older iPhones should have as well, and I know a lot of users also express how they really want this on their iPhones. So if you have an iPhone 15 or 15 Pro, the new iPhones, you have the ability to see the battery health status. Right now, it is at normal for my iPhone right here. We also have the maximum capacity that is also available for older devices, but right here we have cycle count, which is not available for older iPhones. I'm not sure why Apple just doesn't add this to older iPhones. We have the manufacture date and the first use date, which is things that Apple really could add to older iPhones to make the user experience more cohesive and unified in order for users to take advantage of all the new features available with its 17.4. And again, these are things that I think Apple needs to stop doing, just making changes based on device and region. I think they either have to go all in or all out. It's just confusing a lot of users. And at this point, iOS 17.4 is probably the most confusing update for many iPhone users, especially the end user that is not like tech savvy or anything like that, really gets confused as I see a lot of comments and questions day in and day out in regards to a lot of these changes. Let me know what you think in those comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.